Your business will only ever be as optimized as you are. Most founders never hear that. They pour everything into the company and let their own body fall behind. I have lived that. I have been the guy with a closet full of gadgets and no real plan. Today, I sit down with John Goldman, founder of Rebel Health Alliance. He helps CEOs, founders, and operators cut through the noise. The supplements, the peptides, the Ozempic hype, the $1,000 devices that stop working 2 weeks after you buy them. We break down what health optimization actually means and what it can do for you in your life. Let's unlock it. John, welcome to the show.
Hey man, good to be here. Good to see you.
I'm excited to have you here because I know we're usually talking about on the podcast business, marketing stuff, but we don't rarely ever do health. But I think health is super important because as a business owner, entrepreneur, leader, if you're not healthy inside and out, your business is not healthy. And I can go on stories and stories about how that's a direct reflection even of my life, but I truly believe health optimization, we know it's a huge thing today in this world. So I'm happy to have you. My goals, just so people are listening, my goals here is I would love to really understand, because I know you're one of the leading powers in health optimization, and specifically for CEOs and leaders and business owners and athletes. But I really would love to see if we can debunk some stuff that I know that's going through some of my head and give some people today real understanding of what does health optimization really mean. I have burning desire questions like, where did this come from? Like all of a sudden I look around and it's just health optimization. And now you're hearing all this stuff. You're like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what's true. I don't know what to optimize because you can't optimize everything. So as you can tell, I'm excited. Without further ado, John, I'm so excited to have you here. Why don't you start off? Tell us a little bit of who you are, how you even got to this place.
Sure. And before I even get into that, I just want to echo something that you said earlier. I have always said that your business will never be as optimized. Your business will only be as optimized as you are.
Yeah.
And I have personal experience. You have personal experience. If I go back in my life and I look at times where business was bad, health was bad. And if I go back and I look at times when business was good, health was good. Now, what comes first? I don't know. I think they go hand in hand, and it's about the vibe that you're on and about the energy you're putting out in the world and the focus that you have on yourself. But I can definitely see back in 2008 and 2009 when like the world was crumbling, when I was in real estate development, my health also same cliff. It went off the same cliff as the rest of the financial markets in those years, and it was a bad spot. But I know today in working with leaders, CEOs, partner lawyers, investment bankers, wealth managers, doctors, small business owners, construction company owners, executives, software guys. I have seen time again that the better condition they are in physically and mentally, and thus emotionally and mentally as well, their work stuff takes off at the same time. So who am I? I'm John Goldman. I am the founder and CEO at Rebel Health Alliance. I have always been an entrepreneur. I worked in private equity first. I worked in a hedge fund right out of school, graduate degree. Then I got into real estate, did individual real estate, independent real estate development for like 2000 to like 2008. And if you're not old enough to know what that means, great financial crash really took out almost everybody I know working in real estate at that time. And then did some side work, did some nonprofit work, did school turnaround work where like I just jumped into the middle of the charter school universe and helped turn around schools because I came to it from a balance sheet management perspective and personnel management perspective. And we were really successful at that. From there, I got into social media and whatnot. And here I am today. I woke up in 2022 feeling like crap, man. I said to my friend, I said, dude, are there guys my age who say, I feel better than ever in their late 40s or whatever. And I'm like, those guys are full of it, right? They are lying. There's no way that is possible. And he's like, no, man, there are definitely people who are 40 and 50 years old who are feeling good today and better than they did yesterday and getting better every single day. And I thought, man, the way I feel every morning when I wake up, if this is it, if this is my peak existence at 46 or 47, and from here it's just decline, the rest of my life is going to suck. And so I really found motivation because I was feeling bad and I didn't know why I was feeling bad. And again, this is like 4 or 5 years ago. And it was before the boom, right? And he introduced me to like functional health blood panels, ultrasounds for your liver, coronary calcium scores for your heart and arteries, DEXA scans for your body composition, VO2 max. He introduced me to this whole world. And in doing these diagnostics with him, I learned words that I'd never heard before in my life. Pre-diabetic. I was pre-diabetic at age 46. I had no idea. I thought I was fine. I had lifted weights my whole life, been an athlete my whole life. Even as an adult, I was a 2-time Muay Thai national champion, undefeated amateur Muay Thai kickboxer. I did CrossFit, I did powerlifting, I played sports in high school. Like, I thought I was like, all right, like I'm in good shape, I'm good. I'm a little fat right now, but I'm probably in generally good health. Man, I had high blood pressure. I had hyperlipidemia, which means my cholesterol was really high. My blood sugars were out of whack. I had fatty liver disease. I was pre-diabetic. My C-reactive protein, which is a condition of your inflammation in your body, was through the roof. Basically, I was on my way to getting my left foot chopped off, being a diabetic, down the final stages of that. And I had no idea. I just knew I felt like shit. And after going through all these diagnostics, the reality was like just put right in my face. There's no denying it. There's no looking in the mirror and be like, it's fine, or I'll lean out for summer or whatever. It was right there, black and white. And so through my network, my social media network, I've got a pretty strong following on Twitter. You should follow me there. It's at John Goldman. I knew doctors and I knew trainers and I knew people in the field and biohackers and whatnot. And I cobbled together a team of people to interpret the results that I had. We crafted a plan. And I was kind of in between gigs at that point. So I had time and it was like a full-time gig. What do I do? How do I reduce my visceral fat content? How do I get leaner? How do I improve my VO2 max? How do I get rid of this fat that's wrapped around all of my organs and is infiltrated into my liver? How do I get my inflammation down? How do I stop being pre-diabetic? And in the process of figuring all that out, I began to see a vision for a company that became Rebel Health Alliance. There I was in my 40s, professional, married, kids, entrepreneur. And I thought, if other guys out there are anything like me, which I knew a ton of dudes were, and women, then they would love to have a service like this where it's all put together and you don't have to become a health expert and you don't have to spend, I was spending like hours and hours and hours every day trying to figure this out. After 6 months of doing the protocols that we established, I was 12% body fat, reduced inflammation, returned my insulin and sugar levels to normal. I had, I was totally leaned out. I was as strong as I'd been. And I completely turned around my health trajectory and put me on an upward path, which I've continued to be on ever since we launched. So that's the origin story for the business, was a personal need that I had and not seeing it out there in 2022, 2021, and then just building the thing. And, your audience, you guys talk about business and creation. So, the joy of like having an idea and then like manifesting it into reality. And so that's what I've been doing the last like 4 years now.
And I would just even add one extra layer there, the joy of manifesting it, but a joy of manifesting an idea that is also impacting, helping so many people. And not even just in helping them get better in business or better marketing. I'm talking optimizing the one thing that I truly like money cannot buy, which is your health.
Yeah. So, and just one more thing on that, not to get too woo, but it was at that time in my life where I was trying to figure out what to do next with my life. And I had done the private equity, soulless money-making thing. I'd done hedge fund, did real estate development. I did great work in charter schools. But I wanted to have my life be in perfect alignment. I love exercise. I love working out. I always dreamed, I'm like, man, I wish I could get paid to work out, And so I wanted to be in perfect alignment. That's something that I was interested in, that was good for me, that was good for my family, that was good for my community, that was good for the country, and that would make me money. And I really took time to find that thing. And that's what this thing is. And because of that, I have endless, boundless energy to fulfill the dream and to build the company.
Where do we begin here? Because again, there's so much. I keep thinking of the Brian Johnson dude who I'm like, I don't know if he's psycho crazy or if there's a little bit of validity there. this whole new world of NAD and peptides, and then the whole idea of just supplements, and supplements aren't good, and you got to have the higher end supplement. Like, what's the difference between the $500 supplement? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I can say this. Like the Johnson & Johnson supplements, probably not really that great, filled with fillers. But like, there's this whole line of we're talking supplements, what you can put in your body. But there's also the whole, now we have the DNA stuff that's happening and what your body should, and some people need this. There's people out there literally, and I know it has to be a joke, can't be real. People are saying, you don't actually need water. Water is bad for too much. Plain water is bad for you. And then there's, water from a tap is bad for you. Then water from a bottle it's like, where does this start and where does this end? So I think the way, as I'm discussing here, I think the way is asking the big question here to you: what is health optimization? Where does it start for you? And where does it end? And from there, I think we have a place to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's useful to step back and to really think about the big picture here and where even the concepts of health optimization came from and why. In the US, at least, the healthcare system here is terrible. All it does is it processes you through a 7-minute thing with very limited diagnostic testing, very little prevention, very little forward-thinking work. They wait for you to get sick. Odds are they're going to put you on a pill, say, call me in a year. Nothing about the existing healthcare system, excuse me, nothing about the existing healthcare system is set up to generate health in you. And that's a very purposeful division that happened back in the 30s in the United States with this thing called the Fleckner Report. And what it did was it separated the treatment of disease and the generation of health into two different fields. And so the treatment of disease is what you get from your traditional doctor here in the US, while the generation of health was relegated or handed off to the public health professionals. And these are the people that are looking at the population health and trying to come up with strategies to make the population healthier. That has been an abject failure, as evidenced by the ever-increasing obesity rates and diabetes rates in the United States, where you look around and basically like 3 out of 4 people are obese, varying levels of obesity. And so there's just this horrible distortion in the market where you're going to the guy that you think is going to make you healthier, but all he is really doing is treating your disease when you come in the door and nothing else. And so I think people of agency, like high agency folks, guys like who and women that listen to your podcast, and business owners, entrepreneurs and whatnot, they know they want something better for themselves. So there's like a search, there's like a yearning feeling in people trying to find something better. And I think it first manifested really in like the biohacker space that started maybe like 10 or 15 years ago. And it's evolved a lot since then. And you still have those weird biohackers, but now there's people like us, I think, who are really trying to find the right answer for, I would say, the shortest, straightest line to your optimization and like the healthiest, sanest way to do it in a long-term perspective. And so the advent of telehealth through COVID really blew open this market, and it made it you could find the best doctors in the country no matter where you were in the country. And it connected people of high agency and physicians and medical teams looking proactively together in a way that was impossible in the past. Same with social media, online marketing, all this stuff. It really shortened the distance between the 2 points. And so we were able to come together, and now it's like snowballed. And what I have seen over the last few years is that, we could come to the market and say, look, we can get you access to these tests. New tests, DEXA scans, VO2 max testing, coronary calcium scoring. We can get you access to these tests. And that was enough to get people in the door then, because if you couldn't go to your primary care doctor and say, give me body composition analysis with the DEXA machine, half of them don't even know that the DEXA machine can actually do body composition analysis. They think it's just for bone density, which it's not. I mean, it does that as well. And none of it is authorized by insurance. None of it is in their little computer system where they can push the button and get the right, test ordered for you. So they're totally hamstrung. So we would just say, hey, we can get you these tests. And we got a lot of people in the door that way. But what I've seen now is that high agency people that don't settle for second best, people that know they need to be healthy, and people that are fed up with the existing healthcare system, they're already out there, man. They're buying Function Health blood tests, Superpower blood tests, Inside Tracker blood tests. They've got Whoops, they've got Auras, they've got CGM monitors. They've tried to get DEXA scans. They've heard about VO2 max. They have an idea of what's happening, and they've learned all this stuff through influencers, right? Like Huberman and Atia and all these guys that have huge audiences that have been talking about it. And so they're out there trying their best to put it all together. But what they've realized is what I realized 4 years ago is that figuring it all out is a full-time job. It is a full-time job. Plus, you've got all this data now. I'm listening to I'm listening to Gary Brecka tell me that drinking normal water is bad for you and that you shouldn't drink coffee in the morning and you need to buy his magic water wand. And you've got people selling supplements all day long on Twitter. Like fitness Twitter has turned into nothing but just peptide shill factory basically out there. And there's just so many people pushing so many things. You don't have what we call the health fiduciary, the person who's only responsible for looking out for your well-being. And that's where we come in. We don't sell supplements. We don't sell labs. We don't sell magic water wands. We don't sell red light therapies. We don't sell, peptides. We don't sell drugs. We don't sell tests or labs or anything at all. We just advise you on what we think is the best stuff for you. And then we put it all together into a plan.
I want to get into that. I do want to get into kind of the step. Like, again, I don't want to give away everything because I think it's probably your IP, but I definitely want to get into some of, the steps that you take that you might think is a little bit different than what you would see out there. Before we go in there, like I'm dying to ask some of these questions. Like you were saying, as you were saying, you're talking red light bio. I wrote down sauna, cold tubs, like peptides. There's something called nootropics. I don't know anything. Like someone gave me a box of $1,000 of these nootropics things. My wife just thinks I'm going out of my mind, right? Psycho buying all this stuff. Coffee, like you just said, like don't drink coffee, drink coffee. Don't drink wine, bad wine. Like there's so much out there. So let's dive into a little bit about this, because for me, I'm going to say this and then I want you to kind of carry it on for me. From the health that I know, and I grew up as an athlete, and I know what the 1% did and the 10% and everybody else did when it comes to like kind of training and everything. I've tried all the different types of training regimens. This is back before the internet, all that stuff. But when I looked at it and all these people had all these techniques of how to train better, there's always like these fundamentals. So I think about your health as like the fundamentals. So I say red light. People are like, oh, red light changed my life. And I go, okay, does red light actually change someone's life? Or does red light take someone who's already 98.99% optimized because they're right away fundamentally eating healthy, not eating sugar, not drinking, getting good sleep, drinking the great amount of water, eating their vegetables, whatever it might be, taking their right supplements. Now they're looking for that one extra little percent, which most people would never actually notice. It's all placebo and really doesn't probably do that much work for you. What do you say to that?
You're right on with that. So the way that we look at it is that these advanced therapeutics and newfangled things, and I will carve specifically out of this conversation things like retatrutide and tirzepatide and semaglutide. Those are truly revolutionary, game-changing technologies. Okay, so let's put those aside for a second. For most people, taking XYZ supplement, XYZ treatment, this pill, this therapy, that thing, you're not going to notice a difference. You're just not going to notice a difference. The way to get to 95% optimized is through the most boring stuff that people have generally forgotten and or don't want to give any credence to, especially your online people, because they're all trying to sell you other things, right? Like there are great peptides out there that can do really good stuff. BPC 157 is one of them. But it's not going to just help like everybody get healthy, right? It's a very specific thing for specific instances, and it does have some help, but it's not the only thing that you need. And again, carving out retatrutide, tirzepatide, and semaglutide, these are fundamental game changers. The most important thing for long-term well-being and fitness is resistance training, is building a decent muscular mass of a fat-free mass index of somewhere between 19 and 21, which is a figure that calculates like based on your height, like how much muscle mass you should have. It's separate from BMI. BMI is like everything, fat included. A healthy fat-free mass index, excellent cardiorespiratory fitness. The higher that you can improve your VO2 max, the lower your chance for all-cause mortality across the board, right? So like with every run you go on, or every row that you do, or every swim that you take, or weighted hike that you do, anytime you get your heart rate up, you are increasing your chance to live forever. Not forever, but increasing your chance to live each and every time. And that's all cause mortality, right? So like that reduces your chance of dying from everything. Falls, accidents, smoking. It doesn't even matter. Improving your cardiorespiratory fitness is more powerful than quitting smoking by a long shot.
Yeah.
It's that important. So cardio, resistance training, proper sleep, eating the right foods. And guess what, guys? We all know what the right foods are already. It's a well-balanced spread of food with, right amount of carbohydrates. If you're active, sugar and carbohydrates are not going to kill you. The right amount of protein, the right amount of good fats, right mix of vegetables and fruits and stuff. And the key is the right level of caloric intake. We all know inside. We all know. Now, there are definitely some people that don't know that Mountain Dew is bad for them, or eating Hostess cupcakes or whatever bad for them. But, for anybody that's been in the space any amount of time, you definitely know what to do.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop. And when you're saying things that I don't think most of the population knows, or even me, I'm going to ask those definitions, because I watch all these podcasts and these people speak these big language, these words that you're just kind of like, you don't actually understand. So like one of the biggest ones you just said was caloric intake. What does that actually even mean? What's the power of the caloric intake? That's chloride, which is
caloric. So like calories. Yeah. The amount of calories that you take in, right? So
calories.
Caloric intake. Yeah. So we're talking about energy in and energy out. And there will be people online that will debate all day long and tell you that calories in, calories out as a model is broken, but they're lying to you. They are trying to tell you that it has been an ineffective tool to get people to lose weight. Sure. If you tell the average person that's 100 pounds overweight, just eat less and move more, they're going to fail. Likely. Because it takes some level of discipline. So, but the general concept of energy in, energy out is indisputable. It is proven fact. If you eat less than you burn, you will lose body weight. There's just no question about it. And if you have never counted calories before, I urge you to spend a week counting your calories with fidelity, and you will be amazed at how much more you're eating than you think you're eating. You will notice the snacks that you grab that you don't even register. I'm guilty of it too, man. I'll walk by the refrigerator on my way down to the basement to my studio, and I'll just grab something out of there. Or I walk by the cabinet, I grab something out of there. Or you go out to dinner and you eat this big dinner and it's delicious, but you don't realize that it's all cooked with 10 sticks of butter and heavy cream and olive oil through the gills, plus all kinds of sugar in there. You have to understand how much you're taking in, and then also calculate how much you're burning. If your life involves waking up in the morning, getting in the car, driving to work, working, driving home, sitting at home watching Netflix all day, you are a sedentary person and you are not burning any calories. Even general weightlifting is not going to burn too many calories. Now, there's other benefits from it. Running is going to burn calories for you. There are other things. You just have to move, man. That's why people talk about 10,000 steps a day. There's nothing super magical about it. It's just about movement so you can burn some more calories so that you're in balance. If the scale number is going up, you're in surplus. If the scale number is going down, you're in deficit. And being lean is one of the keys to longevity. We have 7 pillars to longevity, and that we believe in, right? It is right amount of sleep, get and stay lean, lift heavy things, move your body a lot. I'm going to forget them all now. Build community, have meaning. Okay. And these things all interplay with each other. And we have seen for sure that people engaged in communities and have meaning in their life live longer, because you have a reason for it. You need to get and stay lean. You need to move a lot. You need to sleep right, eat the right things. And you need to really just make sure that you're covering these like general big boulders before any of those supplement things are going to have any impact on you whatsoever. Everyone is looking for a shortcut. The supplement industry is so big because people have this hope, this desire, this fantasy that like, I'm going to buy this pill for $30 for a month's supply. I'm going to take it and somehow I'm going to become the person that I want to be. It is a distraction from the thing that you really need to be doing, which is a fundamental lifestyle shift, which is also very difficult to do.
I'll tell you, I'm a victim of it. Like I'm the supplement company's favorite buyer, right? If you have a good enough angle, I'm like, oh, well, even knowing that it won't work. Here's what I'm hearing. And I want to just say this because I think I just want to save. I feel like as you feel like it's your duty too, just the way you're talking. And I'll say I'm on the same page as you. Save people the mind space, the searching, the rabbit holes, the wishing, the longing, the wasting of money and time and energy. The reality is this: if you're not doing what you just said, you're fundamental. Like if you're not moving every single day and you're not working and doing your cardio, working out and doing some resistance training and doing some cardio, eating quasi, I'm going to use the word quasi healthy, meaning you're even kind of watching a little bit of what you're intaking. So you're not, eating junk food and all the garbage. If you're not doing any of that, don't waste $1 on anything else because none of it's going to actually work for you without that foundation. So let me ask you
100%
questions that I've never understood. And I still eat them because I'm like, maybe I'm right or wrong. There's like simple things like a fish oil.
Sure. Yeah. So some people are lacking in the good fats, right? And you're going to want to make sure that you're eating the right amount of fats. And the reason why people take fish oil is because it's got very specific amino acids and fats in there, and it's a supplement to what you're not already eating, right? So instead of taking the fish oil, why not just have salmon a few nights a week? And maybe, get into smoked fish and like eat some sardines or mackerel or something, which can be very fancy and absolutely a delicacy. I mean, I eat canned sardines here at home and they're delicious. And everything that's a supplement is generally in place to make up for what you're not getting from your diet. Whole sources from whole foods, from fresh foods that are well raised. Grass-fed beef is a really good one. Wild caught fish is another good one. Just eat those foods and you're not going to have to spend the extra money on the fish oil supplement. Now, you may get a blood test that shows you that you're extremely deficient in some of these things. And then we're going to want to supplement those in the short term as you're getting the rest of your diet together, as you're building the lifestyle and the habits that are going to make it so eventually you don't need the supplementation. But everyone's goal should be to not need any supplements. When I first got into this space, man, I bought every supplement. I was on every supplement train. I got a whole closet, whole cabinet in my kitchen filled with bottles. I take one supplement now. I take vitamin C every day. And I only do that because I'm just terrified of getting colds. I hate getting colds. And I have found, whether it's placebo or not, that by max dosing my vitamin C, I tend not to get any colds. That's it. I don't take any other supplements anymore. And the reason for that is because my cardiorespiratory fitness is through the roof. I resistance train. I sleep very well. I'm already pretty lean. I'm eating a good balance of food, a good mix of vegetables and fishes and, healthy meats and healthy fats, avocado, like grass-fed beef, lots of chicken, lots of white fish, lots of salmon. And when you do that, you don't need any of the other supplements. It's all scaffolding. So this is a concept that I'd like to introduce here. Like, so many of these things that you read about online that seem to be like magic pills or whatever, they really should just be seen as a scaffolding that will help you build yourself. And then eventually you build yourself and then the scaffolding comes off, right? Like think about building a building. And that's how we treat the usage of GLP-1s and their related compounds like semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide. Those are amazing compounds. Tirzepatide, if you do it as prescribed, you're going to lose weight. You're not going to be hungry. You're going to eat less, and you're definitely going to lose weight. But
we need definitions because I don't know what you're talking about. I've got to be honest with you. So there's
sure. So So semaglutide is like Ozempic, right?
Okay.
That people have heard of that. It's very popular.
Ozempic though, isn't that a bad drug? Isn't that? I know it rocked me, but I've heard it.
Oh, did it? Yeah. I mean, when used as prescribed, generally speaking, what we have seen is that it's extremely effective inducing weight loss and therefore benefiting your metabolic health and your insulin resistance and turning you into an insulin sensitive person, which is what you want. Most all of us unhealthy folks are insulin resistant. It means your insulin is on overdrive. You've got high levels of insulin. You're not shuttling nutrients around where they need to go. You live in a constant state of inflammation. And you're building up plaque in your arteries, and you could lead to diabetes and arterial sclerosis and cardiovascular disease and all these terrible things. Semaglutide and then its predecessor, the one that comes after, successor, I guess. Its successors, tirzepatide, and then retatrutide is the latest one that's about ready to get FDA approval here in the States. These act on different areas of your body besides Ozempic. It's like Ozempic +1 and then Ozempic +2 for retatrutide. And we've seen tirzepatide. I think the brand name is Mounjaro for that.
Yeah, Mounjaro.
Yep. Yeah. We've seen just amazing results. You take it as prescribed. You do the stepped up scaling. Side effects are minimal. Weight loss happens. Insulin sensitivity improves. Metabolic health improves. But the minute you go off of it, if you've made no other changes in your life, you will gain the weight back. The hunger rebound is intense. And as any time when you're losing weight, you will lose muscle mass. I don't believe that you lose more muscle mass on these drugs than you would in a caloric deficit on its own. Because all these, they really do is just induce a caloric deficit, meaning you eat less. If you don't resistance train while you're on the drug, if you don't eat the right amount of protein, if you're not lifting weights and building your muscles, or at least preserving as many as you can while you're losing weight, as soon as you come off, you're just going to be back where you were before with less muscle. Your hunger is going to come back and you're going to eat again and you're going to gain back more weight, this time just with less muscle. So they are dangerous in the sense that if you don't do anything that you need to while you're doing it, you could leave yourself either on the drug for the rest of your life, which I don't think anybody really wants, or in a worse off position because you have less muscle mass and then you start eating the same way you ate before and then you gain it all back and then some. So these tools are extremely powerful, Sema, TERS, and Reta. And when they're used in the right way, you can have tremendous impact on your life. Now, is there anything else that comes anywhere close to those three compounds? Absolutely not. There's nothing else that comes to mind that is anywhere near it. And even if you're going to use them, you still have to make the fundamental lifestyle choices so that you're not addicted and hooked on the drugs forever.
And this is I'm assuming what we call for weight loss, because that's what really Ozempic's for. It was obviously made for diabetics, but they saw the effects on everybody. It's interesting because as you're talking, and I was just thinking those people that are listening, I'm always thinking about my audience. It's just like who's driving their car right now, who's sitting there listening to me, and thank you very much for that. But if they had questions like I had, or these thoughts, or they see all this stuff and they just want to know, have answers, right? And we use this big one called Ozempic because there's this huge thing about Ozempic and all that. And what you said was so important because and I have no problem saying, like, I had no need to be on Ozempic. In fact, it was kind of crazy that my doctor gave it to me. Shows you how broken the system is. But I went on it. It rocked me. And meaning like it just, my stomach, everything, but I'll tell you something, it worked. And then I went off of it and it came all back. And then I went back on it and it dropped. And what I realized with Ozempic, and I want people to really hear me when I say this, the only thing, in my opinion, it actually does is it suppresses your appetite. So while you're on a drug, all you're actually doing is eating less calories, and thus you're dropping weight, and you think it's a magic pill. So when I was on my third round of feeling like shit, it popped, and I said, oh, that's called discipline. Maybe if I just did a diet and I ate less pasta, because that's all that changed was instead of a big bowl of pasta, I ate a quarter bowl of that pasta. And a week later, I looked and felt better. Maybe a little discipline would go a long way. So for those people who don't actually need Ozempic, I want to be very clear, like you're 10 pounds maybe overweight, not ones that actually need it. Don't go down that road. Figure out as you said, your calorie intake first. So I just wanted to say that because as a user of it, you effectively said that. I just wanted people to hear it from a third party who's actually been down that road. So
one qualifier on that, retatrutide, which is the latest one that's coming out, that one not only suppresses your appetite, but it increases your metabolism. So it really does both. Wow, it really reduces the intake and increases the output. And that's why it's going to be bigger than Ozempic. It's going to be probably the biggest drug that ever was in the United States. It's going to be widespread. People are going to be using it all over the place. And I think it's, look, from a macro abstract level, we need to do anything that we can to get the population leaner. Okay? Yeah. Just speaking as a whole. Yeah. Leaner comes and then healthier comes after that. And the amount of money that is spent in the US on treating people with metabolic disorders like diabetes and obesity and other things is staggering, dude. It's in the hundreds of billions of dollars, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. We need to many billions, many amazing billions. I don't sound like friggin' Donald Trump.
Well, we're not going to say yeah.
We need to literally shrink the size of individuals within the population, and so I think broad strokes, it's going to be good for the country.
The country, bad for the economics, but they'll make money on the other side, I guess.
They'll make money on the other side, but it will also relieve the pressure on the healthcare system and relieve pressure on Medicaid, Medicare in the US, and relieve pressure on national healthcare in Canada, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There. Yeah,
it'll relieve pressure there as well.
I'm going to use the word they. I don't like saying that in public, but do they actually want that? Is that what they actually want?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to within the ecosystem, right? The hospital owners and stuff, they love it when people come in sick and they get to bill Medicaid, Medicare for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They do. But like, if you're thinking about it from a budgetary perspective for the United States, I mean, you got to reduce these overall healthcare costs. Otherwise, it's going to just consume the budget. Unchecked, the trajectory of diabetes and obesity in America is going to just consume all the tax dollars that are being collected, and we're going to spend it all on just treating people with what I call, which are truly diseases of lifestyle that could be prevented. And it's created a whole schism in the US of like people that are tired of paying high inflated premiums for their health insurance that pay to cover the sicknesses of other people who don't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like insurance used to be just for if you got pregnant, if you broke your leg, or you got hit by a car, or you had some weird disease. Now insurance is paying for people who just eat too much.
I'm not laughing at that. Sorry. I'm laughing because of how terrible and how backwards this system has got. Like, we're paying insurance, and insurance people are profiting. Everybody's profiting, except the people hurting are hurting lots, like tremendously. Like, getting insurance because you eat too much. That's a fundamental problem. So what I love is I study voice inflection, obviously in sales. And the moment we started talking about obesity and what's actually happening in the world, your voice dropped. And you can actually tell that this means something to you, that this isn't just like something that you're trying to sell. Like you were actually focused and thinking about what the world will look like if half of, say, America was not obese. What kind of world that would be. And I agree with you. I think I think on social media, I only see all these fit people, and the way social media works, right? It makes you think that that's the only thing happening in the world. But then I walk through an airport, and you know what I ask? I go, "Where's the one fit? Where's the one fit person that I saw on social media? Not where I thought everybody was going to be that. Where's the one?" And that's where you realize, man, there's a lot happening not on social media that people don't really understand.
Call it as casual obesity. Think about how many dudes and women in their 40s that they in their mind, they're like, oh, I've packed on a little bit of weight. And you look at them and they got maybe a little bit of a belly, but to a trained eye, that they're 35% body fat. That's obese. And we call it casual obesity. It's just kind of normal. It's just, it's my 8 IPAs and the desserts after every dinner, and the fact that I don't do any exercise. But, I'm not morbidly obese. Like, I'm not my 600-pound life. I'm just casually obese. And that is basically everywhere, dude.
Hollywood glamorizes it. The dad bod, which is, I don't get me started on that. The dad bod, or I'm not, and again, I'm going to lose listeners, and I'm okay with that. Do you see the obesity ads? Like Dove, obesity is beautiful. No obesity. I'm going to tell you something. It's not beautiful. And I'm not saying that an obese woman isn't beautiful. I want to be very clear. What I'm saying, it's not beautiful because healthy and beautiful comes from in. And obese people are not actually healthy internally. So there's nothing beautiful about that. So I want to make sure people understand that, and people won't listen to that, and that's okay, because that's why I love free press and free media. So here's the thing. I'm going to say something because I think this is important. And I'm still sitting here going, so what exactly do you do? Like, I can understand that you figured it out. We didn't talk about half the stuff I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to run some more stuff off, and then we're going to go into my question. But like, when you think about saunas and cold tubs, what comes up?
100%. Sauna, 100%, totally proven, studies forever, Absolutely huge benefit. 3 to 4 times a week, 15 to 20 minutes at 170 to 200 degrees, 100%. Cold plunge, mixed. I would say cold plunge it's clinically shown to inhibit protein muscle synthesis. So that means if you go for a lift and then you get in the cold tub afterwards, you're counteracting what you're doing. It's bad for protein muscle synthesis. It also reduces the inflammation. That's healthy inflammation that alerts your body to come repair tissues. So I say cold plunge out, sauna in 100%.
We're going to ask you if you can only do one or the other, which one? And sauna it is. We talked a little bit about peptides. You said most know yes to the 3 or yes to a certain kind.
Yeah. But with one caveat there, though, on the peptides. If you are already in a healthy position, you will see impact from taking various peptides. There are some that are great for your skin. There are some that are good for your hair. There are some that are great for healing things. There are some that purport to improve your mitochondrial efficiency and whatnot. But dude, if you are 250 pounds at 5'8", you are not going to notice any marginal improvement in your mitochondrial efficiency or whatever that means for you by taking these peptides. So I say put peptides aside, except for Ozempic, Turs, and Retta. Put the peptides aside until you got a 6-pack and you're running and you're lifting and you're eating great. And then you will see the benefit of using peptides.
Nootropics.
I've experimented with those in the past. And, I think that there are some that make you feel a little bit more focused and a little bit more calm. I don't know about the real science behind improving cognitive ability. I'll say theanine, for one, is terrific for calming you down and calming your brain waves down and making you a little bit more focused. Generally speaking, though, improved cardiorespiratory fitness is clinically proven to increase cognitive ability, both in short-term acuity and long-term memory recall. And if there's just endless list of reasons as to why you need to get your heart rate up into an aerobic zone 4 or 5 times a week, and cognitive ability is one of them, better than any nootropic.
I love it. Light therapy, anything along those lines, light therapy. Like I remember going to, oh my God, meeting this woman. She actually had some light app and she moves accordingly to the light, to the sunlight. She'll move her house. She'll move where she lives based on where she was born and all. And I was like, okay, what?
So light therapy, definitely covering a lot of ground there. I would say circadian alignment is super important. Go outside early in the morning, get the morning sun. It's different type of rays that make it through the atmosphere at different points in the time of the day. Get out early, see the sunrise, get out in the late evening and see the sunset. Be outside. This will help your body. We are attuned to the sun. There's whole cultures and civilizations built around sun worship, right? We are attuned to the sun. If you are just inside all the time, you are doing your body a disservice, hormone dysregulation, all sorts of things. So get outside, use the sunlight. Red light therapy and things like that, I don't know. Data is mixed. My wife uses a red light therapy mask all the time. She uses the red light wands. Like I think for women in particular, they're always looking for things to improve their skin and collagen and stuff like that. I'm not 100% expert on red light therapy, but I will tell you circadian, like aligning your circadian rhythms to the sunrise and sunset, absolutely 100% essential.
And then the last one, NADs, and there was the other one that one of the Jenners are always talking about, but NADs and something else.
NAD, NMM, all the, again, 98 to 99 movement, not going to notice anything unless you are doing the fundamentals.
Okay, so here it comes. What would you do? How do you work? So imagine this, just hypothetically speaking, middle-aged 40-year-old man working his butt off every day. You've been inside, sitting at a desk, used to be an athlete, university level athlete, used to have, 12%, body fat, worked out, built the business, put on the 10 pounds, got the 4 kids or the 3 kids, has a hard time even just getting out to the gym now, exhausted, tried everything from Ozempic to nootropics to red light. People are probably thinking I'm talking about me. I'm really not. I'm just putting it out there. And goes to the gym 4 days a week, but doesn't see any really results. And is at the point where he knows the body's going to break down very soon if it's already not breaking down. He comes to you. What's kind of the steps you go through?
The first thing that we do is we map out your entire biological terrain. the most comprehensive health dossier on you ever put together. And the reason for doing this are multiple. One, there's nothing more powerful than seeing a 33% DEXA scan come back and look you right in the face when you think you're only 10 pounds overweight. That's huge. Two, the blood markers that we look at are far more comprehensive than anything your regular doctor has ever taken a look at. And we're going to be able to diagnose any issues or bring your awareness to issues that no one else really had. Three, we're not aiming for normal. Normal includes all of the unhealthy people in America and in Canada. We're aiming for optimal. We're going to do a body scan analysis. We're going to do, take a picture of your heart and arteries. Because, hey, if you've got calcium buildup in your heart and arteries and you didn't know it, you're just a heart attack waiting to happen. We have to take, preventative measures and be more aggressive. We're going to analyze your DNA. We're going to find out what diseases you have a proclivity to, what supplements you might need to take because of any genetic deficiencies that you might have, or ways that you process food, or when the best time it is for you to sleep, or what exercise you're going to respond to the best way. We take all this together, and then using all that data, we're going to create a very custom specific precision plan for you. Excuse me, allergy season here in DC. Led by your physician and coordinating a certified strength and conditioning coach, as well as a registered dietitian, as well as a genetic counselor. And the reason we have put a certified strength and conditioning coach and a dietitian in your team with your physician is because we know that food is medicine and movement is medicine. And these are the key fundamentals to longevity and optimization and improved metabolic health. So there's none going to your doctor and having your doctor just be like, hey, you should probably exercise more. No.
Yeah.
In our practice, the doctor calls the strength coach and says, look, John over here has visceral fat content of like 4 pounds. He's insulin resistant. He needs to do, intervals, and he needs to do cardio, and he needs to build his muscle mass. And then he calls the dietitian and he tells the dietitian what the blood work looks like and what the genetics look like. And then all of them together come up with a plan so that your workouts are fueled properly by your diet. Your diet is in response to your blood work and your DNA. And all of it is in concert around your overall medical plan, which is going to be to get your sugars in line, get your lipids in line, turn you into an insulin sensitive person, get your inflammation down, God forbid that you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, but resolve those things. And so you get a comprehensive 360-degree plan where everyone on your team is talking to each other and everyone on your team is looking at it from a medical perspective. So when we prescribe for you a certain resistance training protocol and a cardio protocol, it's with the context of what your blood work looks like and what your doctor's goals are for you for your long-term health.
Like this is like a dream come true. It seems like this type of treatment that you're doing only happens for the rich and famous or the top athletes.
Agreed. This is something that was previously only accessible to pro athletes, D1 athletes at the best programs, not even all of them. To people willing to pay $100,000 to Peter Attia and other like famous optimizers. Our goal is to bring this to as many people as possible, and we've set up the whole business in a way to make that possible. We don't have like super expensive, centers that you go to out there. We're trying to find the most economical way for you to get these optimal results. And then, by the virtue of the internet and telemedicine and direct messaging and technology, we're able to pull the whole team together, put it in your pocket, and you can carry this team with you everywhere you go all the time. And man, I'm texting my team every week. I just had a check-in with my whole team. I guess that was yesterday, where my doctors, my strength coach, my physical therapist, my dietitian, we're all there. And we're all focused on my plan, which is right now of qualifying for Boston Marathon in November, running a 3:15 marathon.
Hey, congrats.
And we're just doing a coordinated effort there. But that was after they helped me go from, I told you at the beginning, I got myself in shape, but that was just the beginning of the arc. I was on blood pressure medicine still at that time and other things. And like we have de-prescribed me off of blood pressure medicine. My blood pressure is perfect. My resting heart rate is in the 40s. My HRV is almost 100. Like I have been completely transformed because I have this dedicated team that knows me, knows my goals, and is instantly accessible to me at any time.
It sounds like this is locally though. Like, someone has to be close to you in your clinics to be able to walk in and do this?
No, not at all. We're 100% virtual. We don't have any clinics. You can take the meetings right from your desktop or from your phone. And then when we need testing or other actual physical locations, we have a team that finds the location, calls down there, makes sure you have the right equipment, schedules the appointment, and all you got to do is just show up and get the test done.
Wow.
All this is done virtually and on the phone and through direct message.
All right. So how I would say, how much do you believe in your process? Like when you think about all the people that have come through the results, what would you put that? Is that 100%, 90%? Now I'm going to put a caveat to this because I know it's it's 50% is someone comes through here, they get all these tests, you give them the actual antidote to what they need to do. They go home and they do nothing. And they sit on the couch and eat their popcorn and whatever and drink their coffee and da-da-da. Obviously, again, a waste of time. But if someone was honestly at that point in their life where they're like, I know I need change. I'm sick of watching the Instagram reels and seeing all this stuff and being bogged down by all this information and not really knowing what to do. So now I'm paralyzed of even doing something. You're going to give me the plan. I'm going to execute it. How much of a guarantee do you guys put on that this would actually change your life 3, 6, 9 months if they did the protocol and followed it?
So I'm going to tell you a story on one hand, and then I'm going to give you my pseudo guarantee on the other. My mother, 75 years old, my wife, and my daughter and my sister are all in the program, working the program, all have their own team, and they're all following it to the T. That's the level of trust personally that I have in the program. Not only do I do it myself, but of all the women in my life that I care the most about, they're all in the program and they're all seeing great results. So that's just shows you like how I feel about it. I can't give anybody a medical guarantee, obviously, but with that caveat, 100% of the people that follow the protocol have the success that they're seeking. This is clinically proven. We're not making shit up. It is science that if you do resistance training, cardiovascular training, eat the right foods, take the right supplements, and if necessary, take the right medications until the scaffolding has allowed you to build yourself up to the place that you need to be. It works for everybody. These things are fundamental truths in the universe. The breakdown comes in people's internal motivations. So what happens is people they generally have like a scare or something in their life that's like, a motivating factor for them. And, unfortunately for them, they think that just like the guy who buys a $30 supplement, think it's going to change their life. They think, oh, if they buy this program, it's going to change their life and they don't have to do anything. It's just not the case. And you do have to do the work. But what we do is we make it as easy as possible for you to do the work. Mm-hmm. If you can follow directions, we will build you a program that starts small and grows over time as you become more accustomed to this new lifestyle that you're building. So, we say we meet you where you are. If you're just off the couch, we're not going to be prescribing go run 10 miles tomorrow. We're going to be like, let's walk 2 miles today and let's cut soda out. And let's put you on this medication that's going to help you. And then, as you know, once you start seeing momentum, then it just feeds on itself. Once you start seeing the scale go down, once you start seeing the lifts go up, once you start seeing the blood markers come into alignment, once you start sleeping better, once you start performing better, once you start bringing energy to everything that you do, right? Because good health unlocks the door to the good life, right? Once that snowball effect starts happening, it gets easier and easier for folks. So what we do is not only we do the analysis, we do the planning, we do the coaching, we do the support. Our job is to make it as easy as possible for you to go from A to B. And the way that we do that is by being in your face and in your business. If you don't reach out to us, we're reaching out to you. If you reach out to us, we reach back right out. We constantly evolving the plan, constantly monitoring your data, constantly updating your resistance training, constantly updating your cardio programming, constantly updating your diet as your body composition changes, as your blood work changes, constantly refining. And then once you get to a certain point, then it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do with this new found energy in this new life? And then people want to do marathons and they want to do triathlon. They want to run more or get stronger or get leaner or whatever it is. And there's always a next level to get to. And we can continue to adapt and get you to each of those next levels. We come to you with a 1-year, 3-year, and 10-year plan. We have a 10-step longevity protocol that covers every area of your physiology and your life and lifestyle. And we're going to have bigger goals for you than you have for yourself. People come to us and be like, oh, I want to get in shape. I want to lose 20 pounds. Great. Well, now we've done that. But the truth is you need to lose 40. So let's do the next 20. And your organ function isn't as good as it needs to be. So let's get that dialed in. And let's map your neurological processes and your cognitive abilities now so that we're benchmarked against that. So we're preventing neurodegenerative disease in the future. And let's make sure we're looking at your DNA to see what you're susceptible to and what possible diseases you have the proclivity for, and that we're taking a U-turn away from all those, and so that you don't have to go down that path. And so we're going to just come to you with just a much broader scope of like, how are you going to get healthy and where are you going to go? And we're going to open your mind to what's possible, because my friend who told me that there are dudes my age that feel better every day, who I did not believe, I now know they exist, and it's me. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm 50 years old. I'm running more than I ever have in my life. I'm as lean as I've ever been in my life. My blood work is absolutely pristine. My resting heart rate is in the low 40s, right? This is like elite level athlete resting heart rate. And I'm getting better every single day at age 50.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a simple yes or no question. It's a hard question. Simple yes or no. You put your money where your mouth is?
I mean, I do every single day, man. I put my whole everything into this business and into what I believe in here. 1,000%.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do then. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Uh-oh. What's coming?
Well, I'll tell you, as you were talking, I was listening and I was thinking again about the listeners and the viewers. And I had this vision of the guy going, sure. Yeah. Like, I've heard this, done this. And I was like, you know what? Let's put him on the spot. If you are as good as you guys are saying you are, which I hope you are, which I would trust you are, I want to put that out there first.
Yeah.
Then let's use me right here, right now as a case study. I will work with your team. We will document everything, that the journey, and we will let the listener see and do and watch my journey. And we will do a podcast as we go, so people can see what you actually do live and the transformation.
Wow. I mean, let me take a look at you first. Let me do an assessment to see what kind of project we're taking on here, man. Dude, you are exactly the kind of guy that we've built this thing for, right? We say in our latest ads, like Aura, Whoop, CGM, personal trainer, dietitian, 23andMe, Cenogenics. You've tried it all. And now you're like, what do I do with all this data? And how do I move forward in this whole universe of longevity? We're designed for guys and women 40, 35 to 60, 65, professional, family, successful, already dabbling, already trying, closets or cabinets filled with supplements, devices that they've bought that are now just sitting on the countertop, drawers full of nootropics, Lumen devices, Whoop straps, garments. I got a closet full of those freaking Yetis myself, although not a purple one like you've got there, buddy.
I just want to say, for people that are that can't see, if you're just listening as he's saying all that, I'm literally pulling stuff off my desk right now.
Right, you got it all in front of you.
Quick gadgets, this, that. I got someone told me, the Vegas nerve, the Vegas. Yeah, someone's telling me you got to get this apparatus that you just plug it against your neck and it shakes your vagus nerve and calms you down. $400 thing doesn't even work 2 weeks later. Complete piece of garbage, right?
You know what works? You know what helps with that? Running.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I'm in for that. I know that our system works, and I know that what we preach is effective. I know that everybody who works with us lives the life. Our chief medical officer is like a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. You served in Iraq as an infield medic for special forces operators. One of our lead doctors was a CrossFit Games finalist. Our head of strength conditioning, also a CrossFit Games finalist. Everyone walks the walk, lives the life. We've experimented with all these drugs and peptides and all the protocols. And so we know what works and what doesn't. And you're not going to get with a doctor who's like, smoking cigarettes and is all fat and is like, you probably should quit smoking. You know what I mean?
Well, the audience has heard it. You can't say no. I'm saying you've committed. I've committed and you've committed. So we are going to do the journey, the transformation of journey using the Rebel Health Alliance and John and everything that you guys are doing, great things you're doing in America to help people. I almost think it seems like you have this mission to decrease obesity and bring vitality and health back to people the right economical way that usually was only for the top 1%. Now hopefully the everyday person can actually do this. So we're going to document this.
Let's do it, dude.
I'm going to commit. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm even committed. I'll commit to the protocol because I know it's going to involve me having to commit to the diet, to the actual working out, to all the things to the tests.
Yeah,
and
you willing to put your diagnostic results up and the DEXA scan and the blood work and stuff?
I'm willing. If you're willing to give them and willing to show me, I'm willing to use that as a case, as a case study. I know what it feels like to feel alive and to be in the best shape of your life. And I know what it feels like to have that dad bod and feel lethargic and feel exhausted. And I don't want anyone to have to feel that and live that. And there are ways you're saying right now that you can do that without having to buy $500 worth of supplements in a month and going on all these excursions. And there's ways to do it. What I'm very intrigued about is you didn't say it directly, but indirectly you said this, and we'll end it here, is we're going to look at your blood tests. We're going to look at your DNA. We're going to look at these tests before we make any decisions of what we think you need or what you need to do. And from the results of your blood and the results of what we're seeing, we are going to make the plan based off this to get you in the most optimal health.
100%. That's exactly how it works.
So I'm excited. John, I'll say, let's get ready to rumble.
All right, let's do it, baby. All in. We'll connect offline here and we'll get all of your information and we'll get you squared away. We'll get the kits sent right out and I'll get you in the queue ASAP.
For those of the people that are saying, I ain't waiting for this, I want it now, where can they come and get the help right now?
So go to the website. It's rebelhealthalliance.io, rebelhealthalliance.io. You can book a call through the website there. You can follow me on Twitter at John Goldman. Hit me up in the DMs there, or on Instagram at John Goldman __.
John, again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I mean, not many health professionals would put their mouth where the money is on the line like this live. So it tells you something. And I'm looking forward to connecting and seeing where this takes us.
Fantastic, man. I'm excited about it too. Thanks for the opportunity to show off a little bit.
I love it.